Have you ever thought that paying attention to everyone around you could be doing more harm than good? It's a bit puzzling, right? Society often teaches you that being attentive is a sign of kindness and respect. But what if ignoring certain people or situations could actually improve your happiness and peace of mind? It sounds a bit offbeat, doesn't it? But hear me out. Imagine you're constantly absorbing every word, mood, and behavior of those around you. That's exhausting. You end up carrying not only your own worries, but also the burdens of others. This is where the art of selective ignorance comes into play. By choosing not to engage with negative influences or unnecessary drama, you free up so much mental space. It's like clearing out a cluttered room. Suddenly, you can breathe again. Suddenly, those stress-inducing conversations start to lose their power over you. You begin to notice a sense of calm and positivity taking over. The concept of ignoring in order to preserve your well-being might initially seem contradictory, but sometimes less truly can be more. So, join me as I explore how ignoring the noise around you can lead to a more fulfilling life. To fully appreciate the benefits of ignoring people, it's helpful to understand where this idea comes from and why it's gaining traction today. Let's look into the origins and context that make this concept relevant. The art of selective ignorance isn't a new phenomenon. It's been practiced throughout history, albeit under different names or forms. Philosophers like Epictetus and the Stoics understood early on that one's peace and happiness depend largely on what they choose to focus on. Ignoring distractions and negative influences was central to their teachings, emphasizing that inner tranquility comes from controlling your attention. Fast forward to more recent times, technology and the rise of social media have reshaped our world. You are now more connected than ever, with information and opinions bombarding you from all directions. This unprecedented level of connectivity set the stage for a growing interest in selective ignorance. Amid the noise, many people seek ways to reclaim their attention and prioritize their mental health, sparking a renewed interest in this idea. Authors and thought leaders have begun to highlight the importance of ignoring certain things to lead a better life. For instance, the popular book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** by Mark Manson introduces people to the value of focusing only on what truly matters. Manson argues that by being selective about what you care about, you can decrease stress and increase happiness. Now, let's consider the context of why this concept is critical at this moment. The 21st century presents unique challenges and pressures. The constant availability of information leaves you feeling overwhelmed, with less time for self-reflection. The pressure to conform to social norms, stay updated with news, and constantly engage with others can drain your energy and impact your mental health negatively. In such an environment, the idea of selectively ignoring certain people, news, or events becomes appealing as a method of self-preservation. You might be wondering why it's not just about ignoring negativity, but also about considering what adds real value to your life. The technology that connects you also allows you to curate your experiences actively. Deciding what doesn't deserve your attention can help you focus on deeper, more meaningful relationships and activities. Furthermore, research in psychology supports the idea that attention is a limited resource. By constantly reacting to the demands of others, your cognitive resources can become depleted, leading to stress and burnout. Therefore, choosing to ignore unnecessary distractions means preserving your mental energy for activities and interactions that truly enrich your life. So, the background of ignoring people comes from a deep historical understanding of attention, coupled with the modern-day challenges of constant connectivity and information overload. Recognizing the benefits of selecting carefully what you engage with is about taking control over your life in a world that's constantly competing for your attention. It's about choosing peace and clarity over chaos. With this understanding, you're in a better position to explore the transformative power of ignoring what drains you, thus enhancing the quality of your life. Let's dive into a fascinating paradox that exists in your everyday life. How can being connected to so many people actually make you feel more disconnected and stressed? This central problem is intriguing because it challenges a basic assumption that staying in touch and informed should bring joy and satisfaction. Yet for many, it does the opposite. Think about this: we live in a world that encourages you to care and engage with as many people and issues as possible. There's this expectation to be constantly available, to respond quickly, and to be present in both your real and virtual life. Yet, paradoxically, these same intentions can lead to overwhelming stress and anxiety. Instead of feeling fulfilled, you might experience burnout, feeling like you don't have time for yourself or the things you truly care about. Let's paint a picture with a simple example. Imagine you have a friend, Sarah. Sarah genuinely wants to be a good friend, stay informed, and keep up with everyone's expectations. She's on all the social media platforms, replies to every message, and goes to every event she's invited to. Sounds great, right? But soon, Sarah notices she feels exhausted and distracted. Despite being so connected, she feels more isolated. Sarah realizes that she's spreading herself too thin, and instead of deepening important relationships, she's skimming the surface with many. The paradox here is clear. By attempting to do good, by trying to care about everything and everyone, Sarah, and perhaps you too, can end up feeling worse. It's as if the very tools and habits meant to foster connection often do the opposite, leading instead to disconnection and fatigue. But why does this happen? One reason is that our brains aren't wired to handle the constant influx of information and social interactions happening simultaneously. This kind of constant engagement can deplete emotional energy and make it hard to focus on what truly matters. Consider the modern workplace. You are encouraged to be a team player, to engage in every meeting and be aware of all projects. Yet, research shows that too many meetings and excessive collaboration can hurt productivity. Here, the well-meaning effort to foster collaboration instead creates a paradox where efficiency and focus suffer. So, how do you resolve this paradox? How can you strike a balance between staying connected and safeguarding your own peace of mind? Exploring this puzzle will help you see why ignoring certain connections or inputs can be beneficial. This paradox presents a common problem for many people today. Despite the goal of staying connected for better relationships and productivity, indiscriminately trying to be everywhere and do everything actually leads to less happiness and more stress. By understanding this conflict, you open the door to exploring how selectively ignoring certain people and distractions might, contrary to initial instincts, lead you to a more fulfilling and balanced life. This central problem invites you to rethink what it truly means to connect in a world full of noise. Let's explore how this paradox of connection versus well-being plays out in real life, starting from a small example and then moving to a larger one. By doing this, you will see how challenging this conflict can be and why it's important to address it. Let's begin with someone you might know, Mike, a young professional who genuinely wants to excel in his career. Mike is eager to make a good impression, so he says yes to every task, attends every meeting, and constantly checks his phone for work emails, even during his personal time. Initially, this seems like a good plan. Mike is always busy, involved in various projects, and never misses a beat in the office. However, as weeks turn into months, Mike starts feeling drained. His performance begins to slip because he's juggling too much at once. When he finally takes a step back, Mike realizes that trying to do everything made him less effective, not more. Mike's story illustrates the paradox perfectly. His desire to be attentive and proactive led to decreased productivity and increased stress. Instead of soaring in his job, he feels stuck and overwhelmed. This example shows how the intent to connect and engage can backfire, affecting even personal ambitions. Now, let's escalate to a larger scenario, one that many of you might find familiar in the digital age. Consider the world of social media influencers. Initially, influencers connect with audiences by sharing their lives. This creates a bond. However, as their following grows, the pressure to stay connected intensifies. They feel compelled to post constantly, stay up to date with every trend, and respond to countless comments and messages every day. It starts as a passion, but can quickly become a source of anxiety and burnout. You've probably heard of some influencers who step back from social networking because of this pressure. They find that while they intended to build connections and share positivity, the relentless demand often led to stress and mental health challenges. The very tools meant to build community and happiness instead became overwhelming and, at times, damaging. This pattern with influencers shows a wider, more complex version of the paradox. The good intentions to connect deeply and positively impact others turned into a source of stress and disconnection from their personal lives and well-being. Both Mike's personal job experience and the broader influencer scenario highlight the depth of the central issue. Whether in our immediate circles or on a global scale through social platforms, the challenges you face are real and escalate over time if left unchecked. These examples connect back to the paradox, illustrating that the quest for connection can ironically create a barrier to true happiness and productivity. Understanding this escalation helps you see the importance of being mindful about how you connect with others. Recognizing when to step back and ignore certain interactions can be a crucial part of maintaining your mental health and focusing on what truly matters in life. Let's dive deeper into why ignoring people can be crucial by understanding how situations can become much more serious if not addressed. Imagine the world of office politics. Initially, it might just seem like harmless gossip or a few power plays here and there, but what happens when this behavior is allowed to grow unchecked? Now the stakes rise. As colleagues start forming cliques, spreading rumors, and undermining each other, the workplace environment can become toxic. Productivity can drop, trust can crumble, and talented people might leave to find healthier work cultures. The office, once a place of collaboration and innovation, transforms into a battleground of negativity and stress. Here, the emotional toll is heavy. People start questioning their worth, feeling anxious, and becoming disengaged. At this point, ignoring the situation for too long can have real consequences on people's careers and mental health. Let's shift to a broader example affecting entire societies. In the realm of politics and media, small rumors or false information might begin as disregardable whispers. However, when these are left to spread, they can turn into large-scale misinformation campaigns. This is where the stakes become incredibly high. Consider a society that consumes news primarily through social media. If misinformation circulates without being challenged or ignored, it can mislead millions, influencing public opinion and even election outcomes. In this moment, truth and trust in institutions are on the line. The impact is severe: divided communities, misguided policies, and a general lack of trust in once respected facts and figures. In both of these examples, the cost of ignoring the initial signs is substantial. The ripple effect touches many lives, proving that without careful attention, situations can spiral into crisis. These scenarios emphasize the importance of knowing what and when to ignore. In an office, choosing to not engage in petty gossip can maintain professionalism and keep relationships strong. On a societal level, promoting media literacy and healthy skepticism can safeguard communities against misinformation. If you take away one lesson from these examples, it's this: ignoring the right things at the right moment is crucial to preserving both personal and collective well-being. When seemingly small issues are not addressed, the stakes can escalate, leading to widespread damage. By understanding these dynamics, you hold the power to protect your mental health, relationships, and even the stability of larger systems. Engage with caution and choose wisely where to direct your attention. This balance is key to thriving in a world where not everything deserves your focus. Now that you've seen how ignoring certain aspects can sharply raise the stakes, let's bring in some expert insight to deepen our understanding. Consider Cal Newport, a well-respected author and computer science professor at Georgetown University. He wrote the influential book Deep Work, which talks about the power of focused effort in a world full of distractions. Newport argues that ignoring distractions is essential for achieving peak performance and deep satisfaction. He states, "To produce at your peak level, you need to work for extended periods with full concentration on a single task, free from distraction." This insight is crucial because it highlights the benefits of ignoring superficial distractions to concentrate on what truly matters. By doing this, you can significantly enhance both your productivity and mental well-being. Bringing in another authoritative perspective, let's look at the thoughts of Daniel Goleman, a psychologist and author known for his work on emotional intelligence. Goleman explains the idea of emotional hygiene, which suggests that ignoring negative emotions and toxic influences is essential for emotional health. He emphasizes, developing skills in emotional intelligence involves learning how to ignore distractions that interfere with our concentration and focus. This advice drives home the importance of managing your emotional landscape by choosing what to ignore thereby maintaining your mental clarity. For a holistic view, let's also touch on insights from renowned author and meditation teacher Sharon Salzberg. She explains how ignoring distractions is actually a form of mindfulness. Salzberg mentions, mindfulness allows us to be more selective about which thoughts we need to pay attention to and which we can ignore. This perspective illuminates the role of selective ignorance in achieving a more mindful and peaceful life. These expert insights carry weight because the authors are leaders in their fields, focusing on productivity, emotional intelligence, and mindfulness. They emphasize that strategic ignorance isn't about burying your head in the sand. Instead, it's about being selective in what you allow into your mental space. By doing so, you give yourself the gift of time and attention for things that truly enrich your life. Incorporating these knowledgeable viewpoints helps underscore why and how ignoring certain things can be beneficial. It's not just about turning away from negativity, it's about preserving your mental resources for what truly deserves your focus. By embracing this selective approach, you create opportunities for deeper work, emotional resilience, and a more mindful life. These expert voices guide us to a clearer understanding of how strategic ignorance can be a powerful tool in achieving a balanced and fulfilling life. Let's bring this whole idea of ignoring people into the world you live in right now. You might wonder why this is relevant in your daily life. Well, take a moment to think about how much information comes your way each day. You're probably bombarded with notifications from social media, emails, and news alerts. It's all happening so fast that it feels overwhelming. Do you ever see posts on social media that stress you out or make you feel less confident? Many people do, and that's where selective ignorance can play a key role. By choosing which notifications to turn off or which news topics to skip, you protect your emotional well-being. Social media often amplifies negativity, spreading anxiety or misinformation. By deciding which parts to ignore, you gain control over your mental space. Let's look at another scenario. Consider your workplace. Meetings, emails, and endless updates might fill up your day. Do you ever leave work feeling you spent more time managing your inbox than doing actual work? Ignoring unnecessary interruptions can help you manage your time better and increase productivity. It's about deciding what's important now and what can wait. News cycles also provide another daily example. With so much happening in the world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by constant updates. Have you noticed how news headlines can sometimes feel repetitive or overly dramatic? Selectively choosing what to read can help you stay informed without feeling stressed. Ignoring isn't about being uninformed or unaware. It's about choosing what's worth your precious attention. Imagine you receive endless invitations to events every weekend, but going to all of them leaves you exhausted. By picking just a few, you give yourself time to truly enjoy those moments and recharge. Even beyond personal habits, let's look at broader social trends. Companies today often encourage employees to be available around the clock, but this can lead to burnout. Many people are now advocating for quiet quitting, where they focus on doing their job well without extra stress or hours. They're choosing to ignore the hype about hustle culture in favor of a balanced life. In all these cases, the power of ignoring emerges as a tool for modern living. You don't have to follow every trend or respond to every message. You can lead a life that's calmer, more focused, and more joyful. The concept of selective ignorance asks you to decide what truly matters and what you should ignore for your peace of mind. By applying this choice, you can navigate the chaos of modern life with more ease. It's about making smart decisions to ensure your mental energy is used wisely. You want to spend it on things that truly enrich your life, not just on every demand for your attention. In today's noisy world, knowing when to hit ignore can be one of the most empowering decisions you make. As you think about the idea of ignoring people and distractions, let's take a step back to reflect on the deeper meaning. The world is full of noise, opportunities, and challenges. How do you choose what to focus on? This is the heart of the paradox. You can't pay attention to everything if you want to live a meaningful life. Imagine you're standing in a room filled with voices, all demanding your attention. Some are friendly, others are critical, and some are completely irrelevant. How do you decide which voices to listen to? Maybe the key lies in understanding yourself, knowing what truly matters to you, and being okay with letting go of the rest. This choice isn't always easy. Good intentions might tell you to help everyone and absorb all information. Yet these intentions can blind you to the fact that not everything is your responsibility or beneficial for your well-being. So the question is this: how can you remain vigilant in making choices that serve you best? One important lesson is about boundaries. Knowing when to say no and when to walk away from draining interactions can be empowering. It means valuing your time and energy, placing them where they will bring the most fulfillment and joy. Have you ever noticed how some people can stay calm amidst chaos? Often, it's because they selectively focus their attention. They don't get swept up by every emotional wave. This is something you can practice too. It's about finding that quiet strength within to prioritize inner peace over external chaos. Another reflective point touches on assumptions. You might find that questioning your assumptions is a valuable defense against manipulation. The world is filled with influences, each trying to bend your thoughts in one way or another. When you practice selective ignorance, you're actually saying, "I will choose what shapes my world." This protective stance fosters a more authentic life, shaped by your beliefs and values, not just by external noise. In moments where it seems difficult to decide what to ignore, ask yourself what aligns with your true self. You might even consider asking, will this matter in the long term? This thought can guide you in filtering out distractions that are merely temporary or insignificant. This isn't about creating a rigid lifestyle, but about having the flexibility to adapt while maintaining your core values. It's about finding balance, where you're not closing yourself off entirely, but are wisely choosing when to connect and when to step back. As you navigate your journey, remember that it's okay not to have all the answers right away. Life is a continuous process of learning and adjusting. You have the power to make choices that foster happiness and peace. By being mindful about what you pay attention to, you create a space that supports your growth, understanding, and joy. In this reflective space, let yourself ponder, which voices will you let into your world today, and which will you gently ignore for your well-being? As we wrap up this journey into the benefits of ignoring people, I want to leave you with a thought that could shape your actions moving forward. Imagine what your life would be like if you had the power to choose which voices and distractions you let in. How would it change your day, today experiences, and overall well-being? Your call to action is simple yet profound. Spend a moment to be mindful about where you place your attention.